wanna get high, man?
Let's stimulate your mind.
Get up, Chucky! What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
Rojan Kim?
Hello, and welcome to the Rojan Kim cast. It's me, Rojan Kim. Thank you so much for joining me this Wednesday, April 29th, 2020. Well, it's almost the end of the month. I hope everybody's been having a great month. Who's paying rent? Who's paying rent? Who's paying rent? A lot of you live at home, so lucky for you. You don't have to deal with that, I guess. Or you can work something out. I got to pay rent. I can actually pay rent, so yay for me. Is it really worth it though? I don't know. Like, should I be holding out? Because pretty soon maybe no one can pay rent, and then I would have just thrown this money away, huh? But by then maybe money will be worth nothing. You know, money. People will be wiping their asses with it because there's no toilet paper. Money is worthless. And that could be as early as June, everybody. I mean, could everything collapse in a matter of months? I mean, it could. I think, if anything, what this pandemic has taught me is that you just can't ever discount greed and incompetence. I feel like that's, I think we're lucky that this isn't a bigger crisis. Oh my God, if this was a bigger, if this was the type of virus that they had in those movies, like Outbreak or Contagion, or a virus, like a real killer, things that's just going around, you get it and you die in like a couple days or like 3 days, or you get it and you die. What if you get it and you die for sure, but in 14 days? So during that whole time you're spreading it. That everybody would die. I mean, everybody would be dead. But we're not having one of those. Yay, the kids are fine. The kids aren't dying. The kids are great. It's the old people, sick people, fatties, all over, and the unlucky. Some are unlucky. It's not like, it's not to say that it's your fault. I'm going to shame you for getting sick. Sick shaming. That's what we need. Not healthcare. More sickness shamed. We need a real eugenics resurgence, right? The fit and the strong. Let's get Darwinism, socialism. Fuck that. Let's make it Darwinism, guys. Darwinism. That's what's going on here. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Kim Jong-un, is he dead? Is he fit? He's not that fit. I don't know if he's surviving. I don't know. He's Kim Yo-jong is definitely the skinnier, hotter one. She could put a little meat on the bones. You know what I mean? She could put a little, just too skinny. It looks a little too skinny. You can see her the bone structure. Very strong bone structure. The rest of this episode is me just kind of going down what I think of her looks. She could do a thing with her hair, and then she's like, that's just sexist. You don't do that with Kim Jong-un. But yeah, look at the guy. I mean, if he was hotter, maybe I would be like, yeah, you could use a little, maybe the hair. We could change up the hair. I mean, who am I to talk about hair? I'm the last person who needs to talk about hair. I'm going to be shaving my hair off soon. Okay, pandemic is just pushing forward the inevitable, which I think is good. Since we're not dying, which is also inevitable, since it's not one of those Captain Trips, is one of those big old plagues that's just wiping everybody out. There's a lot of free time. People have a lot of free time. People are hanging out with their kids a little bit too much. People are going crazy more than they are getting sick. Not to say there aren't people getting sick. Yes, they are, but it's not The Walking Dead. You know what I'm saying? It's not zombie plague. We're not being wiped out. Let's all get on the board with that, right? We can agree that we're not being wiped out, okay? But what we can also agree on is that this has never happened before and probably doesn't look good for the economy. And, it's like, what's the economy when it comes to health? Health is more important. Yes, health is number one. Without healthy people, you can't have an economy. I've been saying it, it's totally fine. But now, a couple months in, do we reassess? Do we just fucking double down? That's the question. Do we just keep? It's clear that there are vulnerable people, and it's clear that we're not all getting sick, and we're not all is not overwhelming the healthcare system everywhere like it did in Italy. It's clear that we're not the same as Italy. I mean, it's clear that the data coming out of Italy shows that they had a preponderance of older people, a lot of old people. They also had the Fashion Week. They also had a connection to China. Most favored nation status with China. I mean, we do too, but they got a little thing going on with China. So not quite the same. We're a large country. It is spreading. Of course, it is spreading, going through. But it's supposed to. It has to. It has to. You understand? The herd immunity thing is a real thing. I mean, I know a lot of people have made fun of it, whatever, but that's the reason why we have a flu season. That's the reason why the diseases don't wipe us out like they used to, because vaccination is literally giving us herd immunity. I mean, that's what it is. It's either you get it through antibodies from getting it and then recovering, or you use the vaccine to get it to a lot of people. Hence, vaccines. That's actually the past 100 years of history of science there, so we don't have to go into that, right? I'm not here to talk about that. I'm not even interested anymore in the numbers. I get the numbers are all juked. We don't know what the numbers are. The deaths are what matter, because deaths, it's hard to fake, except in China, where they got the urns and the cell phones you can try to count. It's kind of up in the air. But everywhere else, yes, people are dying, but are they dying in such droves that we have to continue what we're doing? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But what I do know is, just like many others, it's gotten me very interested in the economy, in markets, in money. And it's about time. I mean, I am over 6 figures in debt because of student loans, because of studying things like psychology and political science and film. Nothing that makes money. Things that help me understand the world and express myself, which is great. Isn't that great? Isn't that beautiful? That's what's beautiful about America. But at the same time, I'm a abject failure in the Asian sense, right? I'm not in a STEM field. I'm not doing nothing to better society. What am I doing to better society? I'm just a leech sucking the blood off of the productive people. Your taxpayer money has helped fund this. And I hope. And what better time to understand investing, trading, the markets? What better time than now, post-crash, during the pandemic time, right? And I think it just makes sense, because of the last financial crash, same thing happened. I got interested in the market. Well, the markets crashed, so then I'm like, what are these markets about? And then I got interested in the Bitcoin, and then I got interested in. I started trading stocks on Robinhood or E-Trade. All I know is that I lost money. I lost hundreds of dollars. Most of it money that wasn't mine. It's probably credit. Hundreds of dollars trying to play the markets and trying to buy stocks and trying to do this and that, and basically I had no idea what I was doing. No clue. Which is not, that's something like 90%, right? 90% of people who enter the stock market or something, they all lose money. They all lose money. And if anything, it's for the people on the other side, the people who make money off of these people, it's a fucking windfall. Hooray. Keep it coming, right? Yeah, keep it coming. So this time around, I decided, all right, last time I feel like, it was kind of like gambling. I was just guessing, throwing money in, being like, it's going to go this way, it's going to go that way, and then it didn't, and then you lose the money. So this time I'm going to be like, all right, okay, what if I actually, studied it? Read a book. I'm going to read a book. So I read a book. I went on Amazon. I was like, all right, let's just type in day trading, stocks, whatever. I found a book. It was just like How to Make a Living Day Trading by Andrew Aziz. I read this book. It was okay. It was good. It was fine. It was actually okay. It was good. It was my first book ever. It was good. It totally explained about, it's actually about psychology and discipline. Trading is about psychology and discipline. You gotta have a plan. You gotta stick to the plan. You can't get overruled by the emotions that take place when there's money involved. Emotions that take place when the market is moving, and then you're like, and you gotta do what the market does. So I feel like it was a good. Actually, I recommend. Fuck it, I recommend it. It was like $5, $3. I don't know. It was less than a few bucks. It just gives you an overview. There's a lot of technical stuff and sort of strategies and things he does with his computer keyboard, his macros, and how he scales in and scales out of trades and stuff. And that stuff is I feel like it's not really. It might be interesting to you, but for me, that's not. I'm less interested in the actual how and what they do, and more in the whys. Why do people do the thing they do? Why do they? So the psychology thing is actually what really interested me on the psychology aspect. Having studied it, and the political aspect, geopolitics, how all that stuff, how that affects the markets, how it's all interconnected. So I said, all right, fine. Looking into this, I found out to trade stock. Well, I've traded stocks before, and I'm like, is it time to enter the stock market? Because it seems so crazy. And I don't have money. What am I going to do? Also, I found out to day trade in America, you got to have 25 grand. That's what you've got to have 25 grand in an account. I don't know. It's a law. I guess it's just so you don't get jacked. Or so they can jack you for at least 25 grand. I don't know hey, I'm sure it's to protect me, the average person. So whatever, 25 grand, man. So I was like, fuck. All right. Well, can't do that. Though I did find a workaround. You can find, there's places all on the internet. They're based in places outside of the United States, and they're like, you know what? Give us your money. You don't need 25 grand. What? You got 100? Give us $100. That's fine. You can trade with $100. Go ahead. Give us your $100. So I was like, all right. I don't think, okay, maybe not stock market just yet, but I am interested in geopolitics. I am interested in money. I'm interested. What about this whole Forex thing, the foreign exchange, the old it's like money. It's just money trading back and forth. There's a whole market. There's a market that doesn't sleep. It's a market that doesn't care if you don't have 25 grand. You could have $100 and come in this market. Come and jump in. Buy a nano lot of a euro US dollar pair. Huh? You know what that is, don't you? You know how the market's moving. You know what's going to happen. The euro versus the dollar. What's stronger? Come on, get in there. So I didn't jump in with money. So this time around, I was like, all right, last time I jumped in knowing nothing with money. This time, I learned you could trade simulated shit. You could simulated paper trades or whatever. It's fake money online, just to suck you in, I guess, or to learn. I'm gonna just assume that they have my best interests in mind. All these brokerages, they don't want my money. They want me to learn so I can make money, and then we all make money together. Isn't that what it's all about? Yeah. All right. So this time I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep reading. So after intro to day trading or day trading for or whatever the fuck, I decided to check out Baby Pips, babypips.com. I got there through Reddit, and I realized I had started the Baby Pips course back in 2008 or whenever the fuck, 2011, whenever I was interested in the markets. And then I was like, fuck it, after I lost a bunch of money. So I saw that I had taken like 20 of the fucking courses or whatever. So I just started over, and I did the whole fucking thing. 200 some odd little lessons and quizzes and whatever about the fucking foreign exchange markets, technical analysis, all that. A lot of it I realized was kind of like the book, Andrew Aziz's book, where there's a lot of good conceptual stuff about the market, a lot of good conceptual stuff about crowd psychology, price behavior. But then after that, it was like a little bit more specific, like talking about like Elliott waves and talking about like, just all this sort of like technical analysis stuff, which on some level I get, I understand. You want to look at the behavior. It's a way of visualizing data. It's a way of like, trend lines, candlesticks, like, all these things. People are just looking and looking and looking and looking. But I think underlying all of that is psychology. Right? It's psychology. And the thing about psychology is that confirmation bias is real. So the thing about drawing all these lines and the things and the whatever, I think is that like you will into existence what you want to see. Like if you want to enough, your brain will concoct the justifications and will actually see it. You'll see it right there. The pattern's there. You'll be convinced. You're like, yeah. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like the common theme that I'm noticing through all of this is psychology and price action, and I'm learning. I guess volume is another good indicator, and there are certain indicators that I'm learning that are like a little bit more objective that I can kind of use but a lot of times they're sort of after the fact, which makes sense. They're sort of more trustworthy. So then it's still a little bit of predicting. You know what I'm saying? It's still gambling in a sense. It's just an educated form of gambling. Still a guess, right? Still a guess based on how you're seeing the price move, how you're guessing, people are going to behave, how the market seems to be behaving. But on the other hand, out of nowhere could come these giant just injections of money or injections of sale, like giant thing moves. And you can't even, You don't know, are these individuals like me? Are these giant institutions? Are these algorithmic robots? Is this the Fed pumping money in? I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm just a little guy. So that's the other thing you start noticing is that there's these waves, especially now. Super volatile time, right? Waves going up. People who have lost so much money in March, now they're making so much money now because it's a rally, and they'll probably lose more money again. Like as if, this is kind of silly. Even me, just some guy. I just don't see how the market will just keep going up forever. It's got to go back down. I mean, the reality is going to meet, the expectation of the markets. And I understand, in some ways, I've been listening to Mad Money, of course. That's what you got to do. Remember, listen, I made a joke there. I said, I'm at a crossroads between joining TikTok or subscribing to the Wall Street Journal. And I subscribed to the Journal. Okay, I did it. It was $1 for a month. No, $2 for 2 months, and then $20 a month after that. But you know what? I subscribed to the Journal, and I'll tell you why. It's not just because I'm I'm a trader. I'm a Wall Street man. I'm a trader, and I'm being serious. I still fucking have disdain for the news. But the reason I subscribed is because of Scott Horton. Okay. And if you don't know who Scott Horton is, I highly recommend you listen to his podcast. You follow him online. You go to antiwar.com or the Libertarian Institute. Find his podcast because he interviews all sorts of people everywhere. He was right about Russiagate. He has been, he's good taking on this coronavirus thing, and he's very even and measured. Sort of look at it. Even Ron Paul from the beginning has been like, he doesn't believe, I don't believe in this shit. He's like, it's just I don't believe in it. I don't believe it's not as dangerous. Ron Paul, and he's not a kook. Ron Paul's a doctor. He's not a kook. He's just trying to say, I think it's overblown. Scott Horton has been a little bit more, Scott Horton loves Ron Paul. Scott Horton is a libertarian and is now sort of is trying to help Jacob Hornberger or whatever candidate for the Libertarian Party. And I'm just not a party guy. I'm just not I'm just, I don't go I'm a libertarian, just I don't feel like I'm a Democrat, or I'm a Republican, or I'm a this or that. All of it seems very ridiculous to me, as I think a social nihilist. I don't know. I'm not really a true nihilist in the sense, but I don't believe in institutions. I think mostly because mine have failed me, and so so it's tough for me to believe in that. But I can understand a reliance on the individual because that is something that's happened. But I can also understand reliance or at least institutional help, and I can also understand that it's not one or the other; it's both. Anyway, Scott Horton says, he reads the Wall Street Journal not because he's not a finance guy, but because he knows that the sort of editorializing, moralizing, the injection of emotion that's going on in even the New York Times. I mean, all the news is essentially editorialized now. All the news is essentially Trump is bad, Trump, or I love Trump is bad. Is all phrased through the lens of some kind of conflict with Trump. And the Wall Street Journal, because the people who read it are mostly just business people who just care. They just care about money. There's less of that fuckery going on. I think, and he says he doesn't read the editorial page, the opinion page, because they are mostly Republicans, and it's a conservative magazine in that way, or paper in that way, and of course economics is the underlying thing and all of it. But you know what? They're less likely to add a lot of that bullshit in there because they don't want to bullshit the CEOs, managers, the people who actually, deal with the money. So because of that, I was like, all right, Ramy subscribes to the Times. I subscribe to the Journal. That's the mommy and daddy of newspapers coming out of New York. Fuck it. All right. Mommy's like, oh my God, did you see what the president did? And the Journal's is today we have to make sure that the overall prices of meat doesn't affect the economy in any way, as people can't afford meat at the moment, and there may be a nationwide shutdown of all the meat plants, so food riots may ensue. So I think it's good. It's good. You need both. You need both, you need both, like the yin yang, like the Tao Te Cha-Ching. Tao Te Cha-Ching. All right. So anyways, baby pips. Went through the whole thing. Forex, whatever. But then one of the things I learned about Forex is that the brokerages, they make money off of both sides. They're actually betting against you. They make, because there's these spreads and these pips and whatever. So they make money off of you losing. It's, I guess they all do. They all do. But for some reason, for Forex brokerages, they make a little more. Well, makes sense. You got to make yours too. But the thing is, like, that's what it is. It's like you're not actually trading the market in Forex. You're trading with the brokerage. It's a weird thing. So it's like the brokerage is like a proxy for trading with the market. So it's actually the brokerages, it's in their favor to juke the market to fuck you. You know what I mean? Because they're like a stop. They're like the place before the market, the exchange that you go through. So in ways, it's like you're kind of like playing a losing game, right? You're playing at a casino, and then the casino is for sure rigged, and the longer you play, the longer you'll lose. But, they're perfectly profitable traders trading the Forex markets. You just got to trade in a way where you make more than the cost, right? And in all trading, in all anything, that's the point, right? You can't let the cost of you doing business outweigh the profit you're supposed to make. Which led me to, where am I now? Futures. Now I'm looking at the future. Because, one of the things I noticed is I would actually be right about some of my predictions. I'd actually be right using the technical analysis or using the price action stuff, using some of the stuff that I felt like, all right, this kind of makes sense to me. I would be right about it. But what I noticed is I would always be a little bit too soon. I was right about what I thought would happen, but not until other shit would happen, and then it would happen. But maybe that makes sense, because if you think about it from a crowd psychology perspective, everybody's thinking the same thing is going to happen. So there's going to be a contingent of people who are like betting on the opposite just so they can make money both ways, right? Like people are expecting the price of something to go up, right? So they're like, fuck it, let's fucking push it down because we know it's going to go up anyway. So you make money shorting it going down, and then it's going to go up, and you buy when it's low, and you say, so there's people trying to manipulate things like that all the time. But it's just psychological. It makes sense. It makes sense in that way, right? So I decided, okay, futures. The other reason I decided to do futures is I found I found that there's like these places that let you simulate trade for them, and then if you do well, they might fund you or something, give you money. Could be a big scam. I don't know. I'm not even good enough to put any money in, so that's I'm a bit far away from that until I can be profitable. Trading on paper, I don't think I'm gonna really try to do anything with real money. And when I do real money, I'll probably start with like $200, and then we'll go from there. We'll see. Right? So this is no way a job. This is no way an income thing for me. This is, in fact, probably more a waste of time and money. But I'd say, hey, it's interesting. It's interesting to me, right? All right? I mean, last time, 2008, I had way more money. I had a lot of credit. So much credit. Over 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand in credit. I had a lot of credit, a lot of money. It was great. High on the hog before the crash. This time, I'm Kim Jong undercapitalized. It's one of the big things that happens to beginning traders is that they don't have a lot of money, and then you get wiped out. It's easy to get wiped out, Easy to get wiped out with big moves. You don't have enough money to sustain the moves of the market. Yeah. So anyways, speaking of the journal and speaking of trading, saw this article about how newbies for the first time are coming into the market in droves, especially because of things like Robinhood, things that make it super easy to trade online, and also E-Trade, Robinhood, all those places have been doing zero commissions. No commissions, so come on in. Trade for free, come on in. So basically that happened, and I thought this is a thing it says, research has shown frequent trading isn't good for investors. On average, when individual investors are actively buying and selling stocks, they tend to make poor decisions, said Terrence Odeen, a finance professor at the University of California, Berkeley. Gebers. Mr. Odeen worries that free trades could encourage risky trading by novices. Boy, does it. Right? Which is great for these brokerages, which is great for them. Woo! woo, make that money, everybody make that money. But it's a time, so, I'm not saying I'm some kind of brilliant genius. It's like everybody's getting interested in the market because of how volatile it is, because this has never happened before. Is the economy going to crash? We don't know. Plus, there's no sports. There's no sports, guys. There's no sports. So you got this whole thing about zero commissions, right? You got tons of volatility, right? You got more time, which means more time for trading, which means more losses. Yeah, take that money. The house always wins. Even if you simulate trade like me, even if you're playing with paper money, eventually you're going to get the itch. Eventually, and it remains to be seen, because people, I see them saying online, trade with paper money, but it isn't real until you trade with, real money. So $100,000 in paper trading is nothing, compared to $100 in real trading. And I get that, because when real money's on the line, that's when it gets real emotional, right? A lot of books say don't even look at how much money you're making. Don't even cover it or get rid of it. Get rid of the profit and loss fucking column. Don't look at the money, because the money is what's going to start hitting that limbic brain. You got to be more cold. You have to be more cold, more calculating, more Asian. More Asian. And speaking of Asian, there is an interesting thing about, I mentioned before about the way, right? The Tao, the way, Miyamoto Musashi, Lao Tzu, or is that his name? Fuck. Who's the guy who invented Taoism? Is it Lao Tzu? Is it him? I don't know. Whoever that guy is. The way, right? You see it in all things. And for me, that way is psychology. Not just I guess it's just the push and pull between, if I want to be a little more verbose about it, it's psychology, and crowd psychology is actually the sort of embodiment of this, but it's also, which is the sort of instinctual, animalistic psychology that we all possess as individuals, And I found that I've had some time to think about it, and now looking at all of it, I can see the way it works itself through in these concentric circles, starting at the individual and coming outward. So at the individual level, for me, I learned about this kind of psychology through jiu-jitsu, right? That sort of animal limbic brain psychology where you have intellectual, where you understand that as much as you think that you can do this or you can do that, and your intelligence is sort of telling you, hey, if somebody did this to me, I'd do that. Jiu-jitsu was the first time I realized that none of that matters. Doesn't matter. It's not. If you don't know jiu-jitsu, you're fucked. Or you're against the guy who does. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think and this and that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And then there's a real shock to the system because of that. Real blow to the ego. Oh God, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. Why does anything matter at all? Well, maybe none of this is. My whole life is a sham now. You really question yourself. You question your abilities. You question your strength as a man. You question everything. And luckily, I think maybe I was given a bit of a cushion from psychedelics. Good thing I did those drugs since I was 16. So having had a lot of psychedelic experiences, I think, smoking a lot of weed, getting my mind blown, experiencing ego loss. Understanding that, what I thought and what I think are actually just constructs, structures, and they can be broken down. And when they're broken down, oh my God, things are different. That sort of, I think maybe those pathways were put in by psychedelics. So jiu-jitsu was psychedelic in that way, This is just and it's a kind of a form of humility where you just you have to give yourself to the art. And you say okay, I don't know shit. I got to learn this art. That's what I got to learn, that, and then once you start learning the art, you get better and better. And you might not beat guys who you used to beat, but you start beating guys who do, you start beating guys like you were getting beaten up when you first came in, you start beating up newbies and stuff, and you're like, okay, I'm getting this. And then you realize I don't get it at all. And then it's a back and forth, So at the individual level, I feel like you sort of learn that limbic psychology, right? Lizard psychology, monkey psychology, right? That sort of pre-cortex psychology. The next time, for me, I feel like, was comedy. In comedy now we're dealing with crowd psychology. We're dealing with multiple people. You're dealing with sort of anonymity. They're dark, you're light. It's you. They see you. They see your face, and it's you and your voice, and it's me. It's me, guys. It's me. I can't see them. I mean, I can usually, but I can't see all of them, and they disappear because they become one of many, right? And it's my job to tame this crowd. It's my job not only to tame it, but to entertain it, right? Tame, entertain, make them laugh, right? I'm supposed to do that in like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. I got to do it. And so it's this push and pull. This is that. And a lot of ideas came out of that from my experience. One of the things I realized, it's like you have to approach a crowd like a cat, but you got to lead them like a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like that's sort of a weird push-pull. So you can't just come out there and be like, come out there. I mean, you can. You can. That'll freak them out. You have to understand you're doing that. But the crowds at first have there's the uncertainty. So uncertainty makes people scared, right? Even though they don't know it. And I think of it like jumping into a cab in New York, right? Whenever I jumped into a cab, it'd be like immediately I'm like, shit, what kind of driver is this? And then you get a sense of it in 30 seconds, and you're like, this color is the ride. You know what I mean? He's going to start talking to you. Is he going to start swerving? Is he going to stink? Is he going to, whatever. That happens when you just step on the stage. Ladies, please welcome to the stage, Roger K. Cobb. And I'm like, hey, guys. And as soon as you do that, everybody's looking. There's an instantaneous thing going on in the split second, all right? It's all going on. And then it's nothing intellectual. It's all psychological. And from there, now I have to wield this. If I can gain their acceptance like a wolf in the wild who decides to let you pet it, right? Let you climb on top, take me for a ride. Like the crowd is now in your hands, and they're hoping, upon hope, hopefully with laughs, that they're in good hands, right? So that's. And I started comedy and jiu-jitsu at the same time, and I can tell you that they're both very similar in that I suck at both. I suck at both. All right. And then finally, with the markets, it's the same thing. Psychology. It's mass psychology. Now there's psychology on a mass level. And now, especially with trading, it's like you, the individual, lone, anonymous individual, versus the masses, the whales out there, the big, and what do you do? So, at this point, much different from comedy. With comedy, I have some semblance of control. They're giving it to me. I mean, at any moment, they could tear me apart or hate me, but I'm sort of riding that wave, right? Riding that tension. This is way different because the market doesn't care about me. The market doesn't get, I can bet against it. I could bet with it. I could ride it. I could do it, whatever, but it doesn't, what I have to do is give myself, it's basically not about me. In fact, all this stuff about, revenge trading, emotional trading, not having a plan, not saying, this sort of you relying on the monkey and the limbic brain to trade, which leads to losses. That's all part and parcel of all these things, right? The sort of like trying to understand what it means to be an individual that's also part of a crowd, right? Different from comedy, I don't distinguish myself from the crowd. I am the crowd. But is it me versus the crowd? Like what? You know what I mean? Like it's an interesting place where it's like I am an individual and I'm not an individual. And in every instance of these concentric circles, from martial arts to comedy to trading, going outward and outward, you can see the theme running through it. The way, the Tao, if you will, right, is psychology. It is not just psychology, but it's also the instinctual psychology, the push and pull between the ego and the id. If you want to use Freudian terms, I do. Fuck you. All right. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said it. So anyways, I guess now what I've done trading the markets is I've added a third discipline that I can be terrible at, which, hey, I've got the time. Just like all these other people. And at least, what? I'm not throwing money in just yet. So, I'll wait till I have some money to throw some in. But, listen, I was just about getting interested in shooting guns and shooting bows and arrows and hunting. Can't do that. So, a lot of that stuff's been diverted into the markets. Learning about the markets. So, I'm doing that. Great. Great for me. I think, in some ways, one of the things I have missed in my life as a comedian is a good business sense. So I'm hoping that this might instill something into me in terms of, if my comedy career starts taking off and I have to learn how to fucking make money and fucking sell tickets, and I got to learn all that, right? There's a good chance I'll blow it all on cocaine and the stock market. That'll be awesome, too. If I just start doing rails and betting stocks. But I got to make money in the first place. So anyways, that's the whole thing. Money. Who's going to be able to eat it? Here's the thing. When there's food riots, money is not going to be worth shit. Gold isn't either. Money, honestly, the toilet paper. Yeah, people are saying toilet paper is going to be worth a lot. Dude, money will become toilet paper. Just like I think I just said that. I think I said that earlier. So what do I do? How to make more money in this environment, in this sort of uncertain environment where, who knows? We don't know. 1 in 5 restaurants are supposed to close. Who knows what's going to happen to small businesses? People aren't getting their stimulus money. It's not enough. It's just not enough. So I feel like, what if maybe I should just pivot. Maybe now's the time for me to become one of these like finance personalities. You know what I mean? There's a huge market out there of people trading, learning to trade. I could be like, it's me. Instead of the Rojan Kimcast, I could start doing like, get New Trader Academy, New Trading Times, New Trader podcast with Rojan Kim. And I'll be like, hello everybody. Today I'm diving into the Forex market to trade the Australian dollar Japanese yen pair. The Australian dollar Japanese yen pair is known to correlate with the S&P 500, and today we see the S&P 500 is going to, so that could be me. That could be me, guys. That could be me, and I could be making tons of money. I could be making way more money than I'm making now with you. Well, you guys are great. I'm not gonna, you know what? You guys are there. I can't do that to you guys. I can't fucking talk shit about you. You guys have been there. What if I was like Asian Kramer? Should I become like Mad Money? Do like sad money? Hi, I'm Kramer. What if I called myself Jim Kramer, Kim Dramer? Hi, I'm Kim Dramer. Other people I make friends. I want to make you money, but I keep losing money. I don't know why. Buy, sell. What's that? All right, it's time for the lightning round. Buy, sell. Come on, tell me that. And then it was like, hi, Kim, booyah from out in Tennessee. Hi. Oh, Tennessee. I love Tennessee. Tennessee Williams. That's what I love. I gotta be crazy this whole time. I have no money. All right. I don't know if I can sustain that Asian Kramer thing. Maybe I should go on TikTok and do stocks on stock tips on TikTok. Stock tips. Stock tips. Tip stocks. Stock tips. Tip stocks. Stick stocks. Stick stonks. Where I give and trade, and I'll do funny dance. I do a little funny dance, and then I'll go Netflix. Buy. Aurora Cannabis, buy. Like, only buys, no short selling. Meanwhile, privately, I short sell all the stocks that I recommend because I am pumping them up. I would use my power as a public figure to pump up the stocks, and then strategically short sell them, right? Then I make so much money. Is that what you're doing, Kramer? I know you're a scam, Kramer. Why did you could have seen the housing crash coming. You didn't even see it. What are you not saying? All right. Whatever. He's fine. I'm listening to Jim Kramer now. Okay? That's what's become. I'm turning into my dad? I can't tell. He's never around. I think I'm turning into what I think my dad is like. This is just not around. If my dad was a good dad, this is what he'd be like, and that's what I'm turning into. I feel like that's the best I can do. What am I going to do? Just fucking keep drinking and do a lot more blow and lose all my money because daddy's not around? Fuck you, daddy. And then I trade against daddy in the market. See, that's the other thing about the crowd psychology. I'll leave you guys with this. All right. Mommy and daddy. Just like Freud said, just like everybody else is saying, just like I'm saying right now. Mommy and daddy, dude. I don't know why I'm turning into Bill Burr. It's all about mommy and daddy, dude. All this crowd psychology, that's fucking mommy and daddy. It's fucking brutal, right? It's It's your fucking ma. What'd she fucking do? Did she fuck you up? Would you fucking look at her feet one time? You had a boner, you know? Let's fucking. And then your fucking dad comes and he's like, hey, what the fuck you doing? And fucking, I'm gonna stick you through that fucking wall. All right. That's a weird. I don't know what. Bill Burr stock advice. Get fucking by. Get fucking by. All right. Fucking oil. You better get the fuck out of oil, okay? Oil's fucking brutal. Don't fuck with oil. Listen, they got fucking tankers out there. Tankers filled with fucking oil. No one can fucking buy them. They're going into the negative. It's the fucking futures. The futures are fucking negative. All right. I feel like maybe there is something maybe there is something here. Maybe it is that I am losing out on a giant opportunity to make tons of money. I feel honestly the best thing I could do is go super pro Trump. Just get on Fox News and just be like, you know what America needs right now is America First policies. You know, I'm a firstborn Korean American citizen. Okay, the United States went to war with North Korea and rescued South Korea because it's communism versus capitalism, and I am capitalism all the way. We have a lot to learn from South Korea, okay? The way they're handling this coronavirus, you know, God, I could make a lot of money doing that. But it's not about money. If I cared about money, I would have a lot of money, and I would not be doing a podcast that makes no money, or do comedy that definitely makes no money. I would never do any of these things. Why would I do that? Or even trade, where I'm definitely going to lose money. So there's no reason for me to do any of that. The real reason is that the action is the juice. Remember that, guys. The action is the juice. That's all we got now. Okay? That's all we got in these times. Volatile times. The juice. So thank you. Thank you so much for listening to the Rojan Kimcast. Thank you for joining me this April 29th, 2020. This has been episode 156. I don't know what to call it yet. Maybe the Tao of Cha-Ching, the Tao Te Cha-Ching, the Tao of Downs. These are all sample titles. One of these will stick. Louder with crowd Tao. No. All right, but follow me on Instagram, Twitter. You know the rest. Spotter, Switchify. Oh my God, what am I saying? Whatever they're out there. The podcast place. Podcast. I can't talk anymore. Goodbye.